Welcome to This Explainer. Look, if you're a business leader, you've probably felt the ground literally shifting beneath your feet lately when it comes to artificial intelligence. Today, we're unpacking a sudden, dramatic shift in artificial general intelligence timelines. But more importantly, we're going to look at the immediate productivity impacts that agentic workflows are having on your business model right now. We're cutting straight through the noise to focus on the operational realities. Here is our briefing overview. 1. The AGI timeline shift. 2. The rise of agentic workflows. 3. Recursive self-improvement reality. 4. Quantifying productivity gains. And 5. The strategic horizon. This whole thing is structured to cut right through the hype and show you exactly how real-world enterprise operations are transforming today. Let's get into it.
Section 1. The AGI timeline shift, a paradox in progress. We're seeing this really fascinating paradox unfold right now. On one side, formal benchmarks, like the ARC AGI 3 test, which measures interactive, experience-based reasoning, are showing that frontier AI systems score below 1%. So by those traditional measures, AI is struggling, right? We're nowhere close to human intelligence. But then you look at real-world operations, and teams are seeing these massive utility gains. We're talking about operational AI agents cutting incredibly complex tasks from days down to mere minutes. So the story here isn't about AI being perfect. It's about imperfect AI becoming incredibly, almost unbelievably useful, and just accelerating everything around it.
Now, what's really fascinating here is who is saying this. Quote, "We're currently standing in the foothills of the singularity," end quote. Okay, this isn't some tech bro hyperbole, This is Demis Hassabis, the CEO of Google DeepMind and a Nobel Prize winner. He's a guy usually known for his restraint. Yet he has publicly pulled his timeline for artificial general intelligence way forward. Just last June, he was predicting AGI might happen sometime between 2030 and 2035. And now, he's narrowed that window all the way down to 2029 or 2030. That is a massive, massive acceleration in prediction happening in under a year.
And when we stack up the predictions from other industry leaders, we see this dramatic compression everywhere. You've got Hassabis looking at 2029 to 2030, then you have Elon Musk going even further, stating we've already entered the singularity, pointing to 2026. Now, contrast that directly against Meta's Yann LeCun. He maintains a deep skepticism, basically arguing that current systems just fail on unseen problems without prior training, making true AGI a distant reality. Then Oriol Vignals over at the Gemini program kind of splits the difference. He notes that while models have incredibly strong logic for things like code and math, they still lack true experience-based learning. But for you as a business leader, the takeaway is crystal clear. While top experts might debate the exact definition of intelligence, almost all of them agree that the acceleration in raw capability is profound, and it's happening immediately. Moving right along to Section 2. Rise of agentic workflows, from conversation to operation. The absolutely crucial point here is the evolutionary leap we're experiencing right this very second. We are moving away from passive conversational chatbots, the ones that are mostly limited to impressive text-based demos, and we're entering this era of embedded operational software. AI agents are evolving into active, capable software. They're becoming deeply embedded in real enterprise environments, executing functions across multiple tools. We're even seeing platforms like AWS adding actual payment capabilities for autonomous agents. That means these systems can literally complete financial transactions right inside your enterprise workflows. It's a total game changer. To really understand the mechanics, let's look at how an agentic workflow actually functions autonomously. It's not just generating text anymore. Step 1. It autonomously plans the necessary actions to solve a business problem. Step 2. It sequences those tasks in a logical order. And Step 3. It executes that entire workflow across multiple, totally disparate enterprise systems, delivering results with minimal human input. It's the shift from a tool you talk to a digital employee you actually delegate to. Which brings us to Section 3, Recursive Self-Improvement Reality, the engine of acceleration. So we really need to unpack the technological engine driving these massive leaps forward. What used to be this theoretical science fiction concept is now showing up in our everyday reality. It's called recursive self-improvement. Basically, it's a process where AI systems actively and independently work to improve their own underlying capabilities. And the business impact? Massive. Release cycle compression. Frontier labs are now automating huge fractions of their research operations. Major software release cycles that used to take 6 to 12 months, they're being compressed down to mere weeks.
The AI is literally being used to build the tools that create better AI.
And we're seeing real-world manifestations of this acceleration across all sorts of domains. Demis Hassabis personally mentioned that AI coding agents have totally collapsed his timelines. He's out there vibe coding complex software prototypes in his spare hours in the morning, work that previously would have taken him 6 months. Over in academia, a system called Axiom Rover is quietly making breakthroughs, actually proving century-old mathematical problems. In biology, the Chan-Zuckerberg BioHub's ESMC model has mapped 6.8 billion proteins. We even have multi-agent systems, like CoScientist, autonomously generating scientific hypotheses and designing experiments. It's an entire foundational restructuring of how innovation actually occurs.
Okay, Section 4, quantifying productivity gains, enterprise ROI. Look, theoretical math is great, but as business leaders, you need hard data. You need the bottom line. So let's look at real-world return on investment. This data from SAP's Sustainability AI beta testing reveals order-of-magnitude productivity shifts. We're not talking about incremental efficiency gains here. We are seeing an 80% reduction in manual classification effort, a greater than 50% reduction in packaging compliance review hours, and crucially, a more than 20% drop in errors. They even noted a scenario simulation that used to take a full day was cut down to just 20 minutes. This is exactly what operational transformation looks like on the ground.
We can also see this trajectory playing out clearly in specific industries. Take the translation industry, for example. Back in 2014, it took about 3.5 seconds for a human to edit a machine-generated word suggestion. By 2022, that editing speed fell to 2 seconds. And if you follow this concrete, trackable path, machine translation could reach human-level editing effort, which is about 1 second per word, by the end of this decade. It's a measurable path toward a very specific type of industry singularity.
Finally, Section 5, the strategic horizon, capital, infrastructure, and policy. $5.5 billion. In just a couple of days in early May 2026, over $5.5 billion in capital flowed specifically to bridge the enterprise deployment gap. Why does this matter to you? Because it absolutely proves this is no longer just about research and development. The capital markets are pivoting hard toward massive production scale. The main goal right now is getting these autonomous systems deployed directly into enterprise workflows. When we step back and look at the broader ecosystem, we're neutrally reporting on a rather chaotic strategic environment right now. On one side, hardware infrastructure is hitting literal science fiction milestones. NVIDIA's ARM-based Vera CPU is outscoring traditional chips, and companies are literally achieving simultaneous spatial and chemical control over carbon fabrication. It's wild. Yet, right alongside this technological sprint, the political and regulatory responses remain deeply fragmented. Anthropic reportedly withheld its Mythos model completely due to safety risks. At the federal level, we've seen hesitations, like the U.S. president pulling a voluntary AI executive order out of concern that it might slow down America's industry lead. Conversely, at the state level, we're seeing proactive mandates, like Illinois passing SB 315, which mandates catastrophic risk plans and third-party audits. As an executive, navigating this means balancing explosive new capabilities with a highly fractured regulatory landscape. And that brings us to the end of this explainer. The overarching takeaway from the sources we've reviewed today is that the fundamental nature of work, how tasks are planned, sequenced, and executed, is shifting at breakneck speed. From weeks of work compressed into minutes to agents acting entirely autonomously within your software stack. It leaves us with this vital, highly provocative question for your organization's future. If AI is fundamentally restructuring workflows today, is your business model truly ready for tomorrow? Thank you for joining me for this executive briefing. I hope it gives you the clarity you need to navigate the road ahead.